Hello, can everyone hear me? All good? Nice to meet you all. My name is George Smith. I'm from London. I'm an account executive with Exalate.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kamal. I'm a UX engineer at Exalate from iDalko.
Awesome. Cue the next slide.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect. So today we're here to talk about Exalate, which is the most powerful integration app. But before we do, we'll just paint a bit of a picture here. So Exalate and iDalko up at the top there. iDalko is the maker of Exalate and who we work for. They're based in Belgium and been around for about 11 years now. So it's been pretty exciting. And Exalate is one of their products.
Right. Well, Exalate itself is at 6-year-old from now, 6, 7 years old. At the beginning, it was made for one of our clients. They actually needed a Jira to Jira integration. But, well, now we grew to something a little bit bigger than that.
So the burning question on everyone's mind, surely, what is Exalate exactly? So Exalate's an integration solution, synchronization, kind of a similar thing. Obviously, these logos that you can see on the screen, you can integrate between those. So hopefully everyone here is familiar with Jira, of course. But obviously ServiceNow, Azure DevOps, and Salesforce as well. We see a lot of common use cases, including Zendesk.
Right. So, well, to the basics, I guess, you can mainly take the data of one of your issues or one of your issues, and you can basically use that to create, let's say, a ServiceNow incident, a Zendesk ticket, a lead in Salesforce, and so on. But just hanging with us, there's a little bit more to that.
So this is a really nice visual to kind of explain exactly what's going on and the kind of end user result that you can get once you've configured Exalate. So on the left side, we've got obviously a Jira ticket, and on the right side, we've got a Salesforce case. As you can see, the comments are in sync. So really, this is the end result that you can see here when using Exalate.
Right, and throughout time, we've seen many people trying to manually synchronize that data, copying, pasting data from one platform to the other. So let's say you've got two teams, let's say 2 companies, right? In each side, you've got one person, and the job literally of that person is copying the data from the platform, putting it into an email, believe it or not, sending it to the other company. The other company takes the data from the email and pastes it into their own platform. You can already see the waste of time, aka money as well, wasting, and yeah, without even mentioning the human error and without also mentioning security risk as well.
Definitely. So we work with a whole range of companies across different organizations and different sectors. Just scrolling through the different slides here. Of course, government organizations, we're very well adversed with different industries and different use cases and business needs as well. We have over 3,000 installs on the Atlassian marketplace, which is good to know. And yes, let's go through a couple kind of business use cases.
Yeah, so one of our examples, wireless cars. Well, basically, keeping your data intact and secure is a very important thing, right? So wireless cars is actually using our product for traceability of their tickets and their workflows. And they're also guaranteeing by that their security by, so basically data is being pulled in a very secure way. And thanks to the running synchronization, they turned a very time-consuming process into a super smooth one.
Yeah, due to the different use cases of the tools that we're integrating, like Jira, of course, we deal with a whole range of different use cases. So DPG are acquiring companies. They're a big Belgium kind of media group. So in the business of acquiring companies, obviously, you're bringing on new platforms, new projects, and new people. So keeping everything harmonized and keeping everything together is something that they use Exalate for every day.
Cool. And we got also OpenGI, was one of the leading technology companies when it comes to insurance industry in the UK and the Ireland as well. Well, with the help of Exalate, they have now a more intuitive collaboration between their teams. So their teams are using different platforms, and now there's no more manually synchronizing data. They're literally easily synchronizing their status on both sides with just a couple of button clicks.
So NetGuru, the final case here, is a kind of growing innovation consulting company. And they're using Exalate for a few different things, obviously boosting productivity by means one. But on a second way, they are splitting the two instances, that Azure DevOps and Jira. Previously, people were logging into both therefore increasing the license costs. When you keep your platforms separate and you just license the correct people on each, then you can really benefit and reduce costs as well as boosting productivity as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, well, I'll tell you one of the unique things about Exalate is, as an integration solution, it's decentralized, well, it's written there, decentralized architecture.
Just before we kind of move forward, I would conscious you've been sitting down all day having these talks. I know you're freshly caffeinated after the coffee break. So we thought we might spice things up a little bit for you for the rest of the talk. So instead of going on about how we're the only solution in the market to offer decentralized integration, or...
well, and how maybe how your Jira admins can decide what information leaves your instance and what information gets into your instance. But yeah, we believe for every good story there is deserves a bit of embellishment, and I think all of you guys need something a bit more special. But therefore, we're doing something different.
Indeed. So on to the next slide. Hopefully you can kind of see where this is going. Maybe we have a few Star Wars fans in the house today. So if we go one more slide ahead, almost cue the music. We should have a 52-piece orchestra along the front doing the theme tune, but unfortunately didn't get the budget for that. So StarSync, we thought we would tell you the story of an integration through different planets from the Star Wars universe, just to keep things a little bit more interesting in this intergalactic integration case.
All right, let's go into the story. And right before, well, we've got General Grievous here. Well, as many hands, as many common use cases. Well, we definitely have more than 4 common use cases. Yeah.
So just to briefly outline a couple of the use cases here. Support and development, obviously you can have your support team in Jira as maybe a first line support or something, and then development on Azure DevOps. So using Exalate, much like the business cases earlier, to integrate those two teams and keep them together, improving SLAs, and that end customer result can be really important as well.
Right. Well, instance security, well, maybe do you have teams logging into different instances, logging into one instance to the other instance just to pull some data? Well, giving people unnecessary access to your instances sometimes can lead to, well, security risks. Exalate makes sure, once you set it up, make sure that you're taking the data from the right instance and sending it over to the right destination as well. Yeah, depending on which platforms you're connecting.
So cross-company integration, so when you've got different companies talking to each other and opening up their borders, if you like, using a tool like Exalate is vital to be able to choose exactly what information to send and then how to receive it as well. We also see some common use cases with managed services providers, using Exalate, deploying that across all their different clients and having everything centralized so their clients don't have to log into their Jira and create a ticket. It's all done in their native and favorite tools.
All right. Well, we've got intra-company integration, whether your teams are using different platforms or using one same platform and, well, having multiple projects. Just in a nutshell, if you want your teams to be as efficient as the Droid Army itself, yeah, Exalate can really help you reach that. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger, indeed. Awesome. So yeah, be prepared. We have a few puns coming your way, Star Wars related stuff. So may the force be with the team. Basically, Exalate being that additional layer in the team. So let's jump into a bit more of a galactic use case itself. We're going to talk about some different planets that are working together and show you a bit more about the tool. So there as well. So the first planet that we're going to talk about is planet Coruscant. Now, I don't know if we've got any Star Wars fans, but this is the city planet split into 2 layers. Obviously, hosts a trillion people and some information here. But today, their tool of choice is Azure DevOps. And obviously, we have Palpatine here, so hopefully some familiar faces. He's our chosen Azure DevOps manager, which is interesting. And this handsome chap here, Darth Maul, who I think we sometimes look like when we've been working at home with our hoods up and red eyes all day. So,
pretty eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we jump to the beautiful Naboo, right? Such a beautiful planet. Does it look like Tallinn? I don't know. We still didn't visit it. We've been spending the whole time in our hotel. I guess we'll decide that. Right, so a couple of information about the planet. Species Gungang. It's beautiful, bountiful planet with, very rich. It's the birthplace of the Dark Lord. And their tool of choice is Jira Cloud. Good people, right? All right, we've got our lovely Padme. She's a queen, but well, she's actually a Jira admin. How many Jira admin queens do we have here, I guess? I don't know. Right, for our service desk management, we've got Boss Nas. Pretty face.
Nice. So let's jump into our first use case here between a Jira Cloud instance and Azure DevOps.
All right.
So if we jump on the next line, I'm going to stand here and read a little bit. So the first use case here, Jira Azure DevOps, cross-planet, so it can be different companies as well. That's the idea. So it's a period of civil war in the galaxy. A brave alliance of underground freedom fighters has challenged the tyranny and oppression of the awesome galactic empire. A new trade deal has been signed between the two planets, Naboo and Coruscant, creating a united front in the face of the ever-growing galactic empire has never been more important. Streamlining business and saving valuable time in the fight for justice is priority number one. Coruscant is supporting Naboo with defense, manufacturing, and anticipation of the battle due to the different systems and languages and communication has been slowed down. They must find a way to securely move data around between the planets without the Empire knowing. So, awesome. There you go. It's always a struggle to read that as a child watching it, so I'm pretty proud that I managed to do it there. Awesome. So, of course, another pun, as promised, your path you must decide. When you open Exalate, when you install it on your platforms, you're presented with a few configuration modes. So
Yeah, well, indeed, life presents you most of the times, I guess, with different opportunities, different paths, and you just, well, choose the one that fits your needs the most. Same thing with Exalate. We've got two modes, the no-code mode and the scripting mode. Well, the no-code mode, I think you guessed it, it's just a visual interface. You can set up your synchronization there, set up your mappings using a drag and drop, easy to use interface, accessible for both business users and technical users as well.
Yeah, especially for the technical users, when we talk about the script mode, it's a Groovy-based scripting engine, and this is the true power of Exalate in here. We've seen a lot of use cases when we're speaking with clients, and very impressive what can be done here. I know Kamal's going to talk a little bit more about the actual intricacies of this, but yeah, this is perhaps why we are the most powerful integration app.
Yep. All right, let's jump into it. How do we set this up on Exalate? Well, first thing, we have the concept of connections. So whenever you want to start the synchronization from one side to another side, whether different sides, different platforms or same platform itself, you will have to create a connection for it, right? Got a recording for that here. So let's just see how that looks. Right, so I got here two instances. I've got a Jira Cloud instance and I've got a Azure DevOps instance here. I've got Exalate installed on both sides. I just go through the marketplace and you can just get it from there. I start by initiating my connection. I just need the link of the other side. For my case here is naboo.atlassian.net. I just have to put it wherever I want to start my connection from. And go here, it's where I'm going to choose my mode. We got that first basic mode is basically just a no-code mode, which is for our freemium users. For now, we're going to go with the script mode just to show you how it looks, and then we can see how the no-code mode look afterwards. Right, I'm just going to, you can give names to your sides. Right, so since we are in Star Wars, we're just going to keep it with Star Wars terminologies. So Coruscant to Naboo, that's the name of my connection. And yeah, you can give it a description with Star Wars, with, yeah, whatever movie you like. Right after that, our lovely Padme must be right now choosing which project. Oh, sorry, it's Palpatine. Yeah, it's Coruscant, it's the other side. So you choose which project from Azure DevOps you want to connect with. Exalate presents you with an invitation code that, well, we're going to send that invitation code to the other planet so they can accept the connection from their own side, right? Pasting the code right there, going next, and now choosing to which or from which project from the Jira side this time I want to synchronize with. And yeah, once that's done, yeah, connection is basically established, and I can already start synchronizing. Just Exalate basically generated default behavior that I can use already to just see how the product works, and of course you can tailor that to your needs afterwards. We got two ways of using Exalate for synchronization. You can either use the manual mode or the the manual synchronization way or the automatic way. I'll show you how the manual way works. It's basically the user has to interact with the UI to start the synchronization itself. So if we check that out, I can jump to my Jira side here, and I'll be just creating a simple task here. I guess you guys are all familiar with this screen. So yeah, I'm creating a task here on Jira. Right, simple, nothing magical in here. Going to navigate to my Jira ticket right here. And I've got an Exalate panel. And in Exalate panel, I've got two actions, Exalate and Connect Issues. Exalate is the action that I'm going to be using. And if you want to know what Connect Issue is, visit our booth. We'll tell you more about that. Once clicking Exalate, just you choose the connection we want to work out with. And once that's done, Exalate does its job by picking up this issue and sending it over to the other side. We can monitor the progress in that panel itself. You can see that it's orange progress, or we can monitor it on the sync queue, where you basically sometimes you have multiple synchronizations at the same time. Well, you can see now that it's green, I think, right? Yeah, which means it's synchronized, and you can also see the link of the work item created on the Azure DevOps side. So if you click in there, you can see already the work item created with exactly the same title as the summary in the Jira side. Right, by default, the synchronization is bidirectional. So anyone from the Azure DevOps side can add a comment, right, literally any comment, good. I'm gonna save the work item. Exalate again will pick up any change that happens there, replicates it to the other side. Again, check the status either from the panel there or from the sync queue, just like in here. And yeah, so information should be flowing on the other side. Yeah, you can already see the comment on the Jira side right there. So yeah, same thing again. If I add anything from the Jira side, gonna pop up again. Yeah, I think you got the idea. Right. Is it? Okay, working. Right, so that was a manual way to start a synchronization. Well, maybe for other use cases, you just don't want your users or your Jira users to really interact with the panel there. You don't want them clicking around, sending information here and there. You just want to automate things. Maybe you have criteria, either set up a label, set up a specific status where you want your data to flow from one side to another. Well, there are different ways to approach that. Yeah, that's a way to have an automatic synchronization. And the keyword is triggers. Let's see how that's done. So once you are in your, for example, I'm going to check it from my Jira side here. So if I go to the triggers screen and create a new trigger, I can set a condition there. For Jira, we use JQL queries, right? So anything that a JQL query can pick up, Exalate also can pick up, and well, yeah, set anything that got picked up to synchronization as well. So I got my trigger here. So for every issue created or updated, matching that query, if you see there, it's the status has to be set to development. It's going to be automatically synchronized to the other side. So let's test that out. I've got here a new issue. I'm going to create again a new task. Very easy, just Jira being Jira, right? Cool. Now, right after my issue is created, let's see. Yep, I can already, I can navigate to my issue to see how things are. Well, nothing happening right now because it's not matching my query. I'm going to change the status to set for development. And let's see what's going to happen here. So if I check my panel here, my Exalate panel here, I'm going to see that it's set already to synchronization. It got already picked up to synchronization. Yeah, okay, that was fast. Yeah, and it got synchronized to the other side, sent over, created a new work item on the Azure DevOps side. As you can see here, same way as the manual sync, it's just this time Exalate did all the work for me instead of me interacting with the UI all the time. Of course, I can do the same thing from the Azure DevOps side. I'll just have to create a trigger from the Azure DevOps side. Of course, the condition, there's no JQL query in Azure DevOps. So it's the Azure DevOps search query syntax, I think. So, right. Yeah. That was most of it. Well, if you remember, our connection was in script mode, right? Which means, well, it's running on scripts. If I want to configure, I'm going to be configuring scripts. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to touch any scripting when I created the connection. I was already synchronizing. I was already creating triggers, playing around with things. But what if I want to specify what information to share, what information to receive? Yeah, maybe I have specific issues that I want to put in this project, or specific issues that I want to put in another project, or yeah, there's a lot of ways to set up a synchronization, and that's where you go and check what's running behind all of that. The actual engine behind the synchronization is, well, the script that we have in here. Let's see what way you can do that. So if you edit your connection, you've got here two sets of scripts, right, on the Jira side, where basically you also have two similar sets of scripts for Azure DevOps as well, right? So every platform will have two sets of scripts. Don't get intimidated by the code here. It's very simple, very straightforward. Right, I'll be explaining how the scripts work, right? So, well, first of all, our scripts are using Groovy, right? So, very easy scripting language. Yeah, so every platform has two scripts, an outgoing sync script and an incoming sync script. Now, for example, this is an outgoing sync script from the Jira side, right? This script runs whenever there is information going from the Jira side to the Azure DevOps side. So whenever information is leaving to the other side, I've got this script being run. So it's in here where I specify what kind of information I want to share with the other side, right? So I have the control over the information I'm sharing. So when I'm sharing an issue, I'm not sharing all the fields in there. I'm only sharing what's been specified in here, right? So yeah, so the way I'm doing it, so I'm taking fields from my issue and I'm storing them in this replica. You can imagine it a replica. You can imagine it as a imaginary issue that Exalate uses to share information between different platforms, right? So yeah, as you can see here, I'm storing a signee, a reporter, description, and so on. Now, let's say I don't want to share my comments anymore with the other side, right? I could just strip out the comment line, and yeah, it works like charm. I can also include custom fields. I can include statuses. Yeah, with scripting, you could go crazy advanced with the with the amount of information you can send over. Now, the second script is the incoming sync script. Well, as the name says, incoming. So the script runs whenever there is information coming from the other side. For my example, this is Jira Cloud. So this script would run whenever there's information coming, let's say from the Azure DevOps side to my Jira side here. So again, as I've got the autonomy on my own instance, which means I decide what to share, and I also decide how do I want to interpret any information coming from the other side. So yeah, I decide to which project to put that information, what issue type, depending on what issue type is, or what entity type I'm receiving from the other side. It's in here where I can also set up some status mapping if I have maybe different workflows on both sides. I can do also a signee, reporter, or end user mapping as well. I can use account IDs, emails, and so on. You could really go very, very advanced, like way more than just sharing data via fields here. The power of the script can go way beyond that. You could go as far as getting data from Twitter, I don't know, stalking your favorite celebrity, taking that information and using it to create new Jira issues. Believe me, that's also impossible. That's also possible using Exalate. Right.
Awesome. So hopefully that starts to make a bit more sense now of the capacity and the power of Exalate. So thanks, Kamal, for outlining those points. And for the second use case now, we're going to do a Jira Cloud to Jira Cloud, so a bit of an internal use case here. So if I drop on the next slide, have a get in my position. So the second use case here, Jira to Jira, intraplanet. So we see a lot of companies and platforms integrating within each other. So to crush the rebellion once and for all, the Empire is constructing a sinister new battle station. Powerful enough to destroy a planet, its completion spells certain doom for the champions of freedom. Meanwhile, on Coruscant, the government remains uneasy as the underworld is developing at a slower pace. The surface and the underworld population need to form a united front. The new trade and business opportunities are opened between them, resulting in chaos internally. To aid new collaboration with Naboo and to increase the planet's strength and power against the Empire, it is time for the teams to sync up and join together. So a bit more of an intergalactic use case there as well. So once again, you're presented with these two modes. Obviously, a new use case, you would be able to set up a new connection as well. So for the intra company, we're going to explain a little bit more about the visual mode and how that could be a bit more appropriate for a bit more of a simplistic use case as well.
Right, again, deciding your path. I know George loved this slide so much. Right, so we're going to be checking out the no-code mode. Again, you can use the no-code mode also for cross-platform synchronization. But just for the sake of this example, we're going to use it for within a local connection in our Jira instance. All right, so here, same way, I've got my Jira instance, same way started the previous connection. This time, I am only putting my own URL into my own instance, to have just a local connection here. Choosing the visual mode this side, same way, you could name your side, you can be very creative, but this side we don't have, this time we don't have different planets, it's just literally, one instance, so just a couple of teams, I'm just gonna name them, Team A, Team B, and going next, done. No invitation code since I have just one instance here. Once that's done, I can already start configuring my my connection here. So here, instead of triggers, I'll be scoping. We have the concepts of scope, so I choose the projects from both sides, project A to project B. The synchronization method, either automatic or manual, and I could already filter, like following under that project, which issues I want to have under labels, depending on labels, or statuses, and so on. Well, once that's done, once that's scoped, I can already start mapping my values here. So I've got, Exalate generates for me a couple of the mapping rules in here. I can add more. Well, as you can see, I have mapping of my priorities here. You can always change them. For statuses, I can add my own mapping as well, whether you have same workflows or different workflows. So you've got a long list of possibilities in there. I can also synchronize comments here, and I can even choose whether to share or not to share internal and external comments just by a couple of clicks. I can also synchronize users, assignees or reporters, by matching them by user account, user ID, ID account, or email. I can, basically the visual mode supports all the system fields in Jira, and even if you have custom fields, they're also supported right there. So you have a variety of fields to choose from. A bit of surprise here, there's even a way to add a script block into your visual connection here, configuration. If you really love code so much, you can even add a little bit code block. You want to do maybe some calculations, you want to do, you want to go a bit crazy. You can already do that. Again, it's not as flexible, the coding, the scripting part, as the script mode itself, but still, it's better than having no scripts. I know that technical users love this so much. Right, I think that was most of it with the visual mode. Again, simple to use. It's very, it is the right choice if you have a very easy case, or maybe an intermediate synchronization case as well. I think that's the best way to go. You want to go hardcore, go for scripting mode, and yeah. Oopsie, bam, bam. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
So
indeed, I tend to amaze myself sometimes.
Kamal does amaze himself. But yeah, so another Han Solo there. And the next slide on Han Solo, maybe. So never tell me the odds. Probably one of the best quotes from Star Wars, I think. Unfortunately, you probably wouldn't hear your head of IT security or compliance saying stuff like this when you're bringing in new software or proposing something new. And unfortunately, Exalate doesn't run on the Force as it is. So if we see on the next slide, we've got a PDF resource. We are just out this door next to the Easy BI stand. So please come over and talk to us. We'll be able to have a bit of a flick through this resource and see how Exalate actually works behind the scenes. Quick word on our partners. Obviously, massive thank you today to Trinidad Wiseman for putting on this event, one of our certified Exalate partners. When the scripts and Exalate, basically the scope of the integration becomes quite large, maybe you need some expert help or some advice. Obviously, we can offer that as well, but our partners are completely around the world and their knowledge is as good as ours. So you can contact the partners too. Yeah, just to familiarize you with a few faces, this is Deepak. He's our guy over in India. We have a complete, just like our partner program, we have a complete kind of worldwide presence. So Deepak and the team over there are looking after the APAC region. And then we've got myself looking after the European time zone. Maybe I need to update my photo. I think it was maybe after a holiday, I've lost a bit of my tan as well. And then we have Emmanuel in the US looking after all our clients and the team out there. Don't read into the red lightsaber. I promise he's a nice guy. It's fine. He's not evil. So hopefully we've kind of sped through a bit of use cases, some technical information, and given you guys a little bit of flavor of what Exalate is. We've got an upcoming webinar on the 6th. It would be really cool to see you guys there, popping in any more questions that maybe come up in the meantime, as well as tailored demos and sessions with us and the team. Yeah, as I said, definitely in this time zone and across the world.
Yeah, you can also check our documentation. We've got many examples listed there. If you need a code snippet, just take it from there. We also have a community website where our users already posted many questions, many use cases that got answered. Also, if you get your own questions, you can post them there. Our technical team will be very eager to help you out.
Awesome. So much like Luke famously had a decision to make, we're not forcing a decision on you at all, but it would be great to talk to you guys after if anyone's got any questions and connect on LinkedIn as well. So that being said, thank you very much. And
thank you.
Yeah, excited to take any questions that aren't on Star Wars, of course, as well. So nice.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yes, and fortunately we do have time for questions. So if there are any questions in the audience here, if somebody develops a question, then please raise your hand and we hopefully have somebody with a microphone run to you. Currently no, so I can go on with the questions from the internets. I think the first one was, does Exalate support Jira Data Center? You mentioned cloud, but probably the same, Jira.
Indeed, we support all the Jira data centers and cloud as well.
There was a question about connecting many Jira cloud systems, which I think also we covered already.
Yeah.
Jira to Jira integration. How different it is to set up a connection with Exalate for Jira to Jira and Jira to Azure DevOps. I think we also basically covered that one.
Yeah, well, I can just steal this on that. Basically, the main difference is that just literally at the beginning. So instead of pasting the other side's destination URL, you just paste your own destination URL. And the configuration works literally the same, whether you're using script or visual mode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The previous presenter showed that they had a kind of, let's say, demo account, and they had also a lot of prepared queries for this EasyBI thing. Do you also have similar things like some kind of sample integrations of different things that I can import and so getting to work easier or something like that?
You mean already?
Yeah, for some specific use cases, like, I don't know, Azure or something, is there also already something which is already prepared?
Well, we've
like
got
a library or something like that?
Yeah, well, that's the thing about synchronization. Every instance is different, I believe. Every company is different. You've got different projects, you've got different that you're working on, you got different organograms, different platforms even. So we have use cases, common use cases among many of our clients, but having a template that would work on multiple use cases, that's a little bit hard to achieve. But if you're just looking for a common use case, basically we've got that covered in our documentation. It's actually very easy to reach if you just get that code, put it in there, or if it's just the visual interface, it's already done by Exalate. You've got rules generated in the background once you create your own connection there.
Yeah, just to add to that as well, with the script mode and the visual mode, a lot of things do come out the box, so you can set up things quite easily. And you can also do that on the 30-day free trial that we offer as well. So by all means, get installed, have a bit of a play around with it, and then have a good look through the documentation. And we've got YouTube videos as well, showing you how to get set up as well.
Then there's another one, which is probably Jira to Jira. Let's imagine we have side A, side B. Side B closes a ticket on their side. I need a comment to appear on side A automatically. Or such a kind of activity on one side triggers, let's say, some kind of activity on other side possible.
Yes, indeed. Well, if by close, but you can basically specify that as one simple line, literally one condition into your script. The same way it was described on the message itself, it could be literally described the same way on the script. So once you close, you get a comment. Easy as that.
Thanks. In the meanwhile, anything from audience? I don't see of hands, so I'll go on with internet questions. Is it possible to push request items from Snow, which probably is ServiceNow, I think, to Jira? It was very difficult to Google for Snow, but I hope it's ServiceNow was meant by the Oscar.
Yeah, it's a common anagram used. Yes, it's definitely possible. Yeah, by the way, for ServiceNow, we support all the entities in ServiceNow itself. So if you have any table in ServiceNow, it's basically supported by Exalate. You can use that, synchronize your data also from ServiceNow incidents or any other table you have to Jira or other platforms that we support.
Is it possible to do a quick search for a text query across multiple Jira sites with Exalate as well? So let's say, you have integrated a couple of Jiras and you want to search for a full text search for something on multiple sites.
A full text search.
Text query on multiple. I imagine the question is like that. Let's say I have multiple Jiras and I'm looking for whatever. Let's say whatever name Han Solo, and it can be on system A and system B. Can I somehow centrally query that?
Well, the thing is, if you're looking for, let's say if you're looking to synchronize a specific, let's say a specific issue that's got a specific keyword label, or maybe a specific, description or a specific code, even in the summary. Yeah, that's
once it has been synchronized to another system, you can probably.
Yeah, well,
search it on a destination system.
Yeah, maybe I guess even before, if you want that to be set up to synchronizing to begin with, you can definitely specify that as a trigger. As I said, anything that can be found by a JQL query in Jira can be also Exalate can just basically pick it up to synchronization.
What are the difficult things? Like I understand you are probably doing a support for customers, and there are some things they are asking that you can't do. Or there are some cases where I need to know the limits that, okay, these are the things that are doable and these are things which are difficult, or maybe they are consuming too much resources to make it sensible. So are there kind of like...
Well, that's the thing. It's hard to think of something that Exalate cannot do. I'm not bragging here, but well, we've got also customers sometimes asking us about migration cases. Well, Exalate is not a migration tool to begin with, but still a lot of users use it as a migration way. So it basically can do migration. You just have to like be sure that you set up your configurations very well before migrating or a big bulk of information from one side to the other. So just make sure you run a test of one or two, couple of issues from one side to the other before, before proceeding with the migration itself.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess remembering like the logic on each platform as well. Like for example, in GitHub, if you can't do an internal comment, but you'd like to sync an internal comment from Zendesk to GitHub, then there's going to be some limitations of that. Obviously, Exalate can't change how the individual platforms can work. So sometimes you've just got to think ahead. I think something we try and say as well is just planning the integration, knowing exactly what you want to send across and how to receive it is probably a good practice indeed.
With the synchronization, for me, often the problem tends to be kind of, let's say, avoiding duplicates. So to making sure that things are not, I don't know, synced 2 times, perhaps with, let's imagine you change a name of that ticket for some reason, and it gets into two times the other systems. Indeed. Are there such cases, and do we need to think about these, or are the things kind of somehow taken care of magically?
Well, the thing is, once you have your synchronization set, well, either in the same platform or different platforms, once those are linked, well, depending on how you set up that link or how you set up that synchronization to be, you just change the name of that ticket, it gets automatically changed on the other one. So as long as the two entities are linked, you got reliable information flowing on both sides. That's a good way actually to keep things, to have things more uniform. And yeah, to also avoid all the copying, the pasting, the emailing, it's 2022. People should not be using that many emails anymore.
Yeah, and keeping it simple for yourself. So you've got 2 projects, one on each side, and just setting up one connection for each project is a really good way to like keep it manageable and avoid any complications like that as well.
Any more questions? No, then we should say thank you, gentlemen.
All right,
and
thank you.
Also, there is a presenter's gift for both of you.
Oopsie.
Okay.
No.
Thank you very much.
I have too few hands.
Thank you.
Need to kind of like
Thank you so much.
go on the Star Wars side and get some extra hands. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.